Oh, there we go. All right. What is going on, guys? We're another edition of Just Saying podcast. And once again, I have the awesome guest, as always, Hero Stone Media. What's
You
up, Hero
flatter
Stone?
me. Oh,
Okay, Hero Stone, like before we start the podcast, before we get into what we're going to discuss, we have a tradition for the Just Saying podcast. It could
indeed.
be anything, beer, whatever, water, whatever. So we have to cheers. We have to cheers for another podcast. So open it up.
Just hang on. There we are. Right
There
there.
you go.
It's
And
H2O right
cheers.
here. Cheers, man. Mm.
Woo, that's strong.
The taste of success.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, I mean, we've been wanting to do this for a while. I mean, the people got to know, and if you haven't seen this, you need to watch this.
There's no excuse not to.
I went to Modesto maybe like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I wanted to show you this, Hero Stone Media. I got the complete manga of Fully Cooley.
Now that's a beautiful find right there, man.
Complete. All of it is in one go.
I am jealous of that. I've been wanting to read that for a long time, but I never found it. You know?
Yes. People, we are talking Fully Cooley. We're talking the anime. We're talking the manga. We're talking about the news that just came out. We're getting more seasons of Fully Cooley. And
2 new seasons, 12 episodes.
Can you believe that? I mean, I would have never thought.
After
I would have never
15
thought.
years, you know?
Yeah. That's
So
just
long.
insane. That's
It
insane.
is.
So, Hero Stone, like let the people know what Fully Cooley is all about.
What's it all about? Geez, how long do we have here? I need about 5 hours to sum it all up, man. But what
Nice.
Fully Cooley is, I think what Fully Cooley could best be defined as is a coming of age story, obviously.
Oh, of course.
But I would say this may sound pretentious, but also the first in, I would say, a new generation of millennial anime. You know, it kind of, the techniques it used, just even the way it looked, the way it was stylized, the way it felt, it was a completely new beast from anything we've seen before. It was its own, much like Haruko herself, you know, completely unique. We didn't know what to make of it.
Oh,
and
my God.
it was so different. And honestly, I think it could have either failed or succeeded, you know, just as easily. There was no guarantee it would work, you know. It was just so out there, you know, even by Japanese standards. Because but I mean, thankfully, of course, it did work. It gained a following. I wonder actually if it's more popular over here than it is over there. I don't know, but I'm curious to find out.
Gut feeling. I think it is just a gut feeling. It's definitely a cult following. I don't think it was a huge success in either kind of states, but it's a cult following. Yeah.
It's kind of like people who come to it late, like, you know, I mean, 01 was a long time ago, so most of us probably weren't watching anime back then, but it's slowly become one of the greats, I think, and it's definitely one of the classics. Like, if you're watching anime, you know, it's right up there with Cowboy Bebop, you know.
Oh yeah,
it's right up there.
It's so different. Cowboy Bebop, but it's one of like we were talking about Toonami a couple podcasts ago. Like it should be in that Toonami time slot because it's only like how many episodes in the anime?
Six episodes.
6 episodes, but they throw in so much in there.
There is.
It's so chaotic, and it's not a really like a little bit. It's cohesive, just a little tiny bit, not too much. It's everywhere, honestly, but it's for some reason it works. This is the first anime where you're getting like there's fast cuts, there's fast things, there's always movement, there's always things going on.
Always changing art styles, even.
And it shouldn't work. It shouldn't work like that.
On paper, it wouldn't work.
All, especially like with film, what they do and all that stuff, like any other anime. But for some reason, this anime works. And I think it has to do with the characters themselves and Harukan.
I know. It is definitely a character-driven story, more so than logic ever would dictate. Which makes sense, though, because given... I look at Fully Cooley using Naota as our lens, our perspective, and not just Naota as a character, but Naota as the archetype of the young growing up kid. You know, you ever notice, for example, how the adults in his world, his father, his grandfather, his teacher, they are in essence more strange and more out there than any of the children characters, which makes sense from a child's perspective.
Yeah, especially his father. Well,
Exactly.
he views his father as such the biggest like kind of perv too. So
Exactly, and that makes sense from a kid's perspective.
yeah,
When you can look at it like that, but also as basically from any character's viewpoint, there's something to gain from it, and so the rewatch value is incredible. You
six
know,
episodes. You know.
I've seen it. I've seen the show 5 times. I actually just finished my last run, fifth run last week, and I'm still finding new little details and subtle hints here and there. It's so
Yeah.
brilliant. Every single shot is intentional. There's no
Yeah.
filler at all. You know.
Oh no, no, it's definitely it's and I love there was one episode I love the back and forth where it goes to the animation that they're presenting for the series, then it goes to actually manga animation. Like this ain't a manga, this and that. Like they're very aware. If you know Deadpool, it is a lot like Deadpool. It's breaking the fourth wall. It's like
That's a
kind of
good point.
realizing that how zany and crazy it is.
That's a good point. And I especially in episode 6 where they mentioned how they weren't supposed to do the manga again because how expensive it was. And also
Yeah,
and I love how Naota's dad asked him, what does Fooly Cooly mean? The main character always knows this stuff.
yeah.
It is so self-aware sometimes. It's such a that's again, it's so unique. It is both self-aware and not at the same time, depending on the needs of the scene.
And that
But that's
scene where they're like asking, like, "What does Fooly Cooly mean?" Oh, Fooly Cooly, like, that's Fooly Cooly, like
yeah, exactly.
it's so freaking like,
It
it's
is
ridiculous, insane, but funny. It's
it is
perfect.
it,
That's what it is, man.
It is. It's also kind of awkward because I showed the first episode to my friends last month. Both my friends have never seen it, and the first episode's kind of a bit. It seems like a soap opera almost. The first episode is not a good representative of the whole because it gets going
Yeah,
around episode 2 or 3. But it's like
yeah,
they didn't know what to think of it because they're like, huh. It was just so new to them. They're like, what is this? It was and
exactly,
it was good to see. It was
exactly.
good to see their reaction. Their reaction though, because they didn't know what to make of it. It was actually kind of funny.
I think that's
Um,
what we all did, though. I think that's what we also when we
yeah,
first saw Fooly Cooly, we're like, okay, what the fuck is going like what is going on here? And then when we were actually
exactly.
watching it, we're like, I don't know if I like this or don't. I don't know if I don't. And then you kind of keep
Exactly.
going. Like, I think I like this. I think I like this a lot. And,
I think you're
I'm
right.
glad I
Now,
have the DVD.
question here for you. What was your first Fooly Cooly experience? How did you watch it? How old were you when you watched it? What was your initial thoughts? I'm very curious.
It's very funny because I always say when I do my reviews and my videos that my uncle's the one that got me into really get into anime. I mean, before I liked Tenchi Muyo and Dragon Ball Z, and then like I stopped for a while, and then he kind of got me back into anime with
Oh yeah.
Akira and Naruto. And then he got me into this. He lent me like he showed me the DVD cover and he was like, "Here, why don't you watch this?" And I believe I was in I want to say I was barely heading into junior high. Or I
Perfect.
was at no, not junior. I was in junior high. I forgot. Like around, I think I was in junior high. I was still, still young and just like getting into anime and stuff. And he presents this anime, and then I'm watching it. And for me, it's like, oh yeah, this anime. It's another one that my uncle's trying to get me into, and this and that.
Yeah.
And I watch it, and I'm like, it's kind of weird. Oh, I like it or not. I actually really like this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then once I finished it, once it was like after episode 6, I said, "Wait, that's it? Is there more? Are we getting another season?" It's an anime. It's in that like you always have. You watch something so good, you always ask, "Where's season 2?
It's like
Where's
Bebop.
season 2?" Yeah, exactly. Like Bebop or like another one was Bakano for me, but definitely it's like I wanted more. But then later on, as I grew, I was like, okay, I'm fine with it if they never do it again. But hearing the news that we're getting more, like I think we said that it's a little nervous because how long it's taken and like
Yeah.
what the whole situation there. But
It could go
when I when
south.
exactly. When I first watched it, I was like I was confused, yet I was entertained, and I grew to just absolutely be on board and love it.
Beautiful. And you were the
What about
perfect
you?
age too. I actually first saw it. Gosh, I guess it was last year actually. I came to the party late. So I guess I was around 19.
As long as you bring beer.
True. But anyway, though, I was just kind of like, okay, I've seen Bebop. Okay, I've seen Akira. I'm just trying to go through the list of like, okay, what do people think are the best? I want to get like a feel for some of the best work, and so I saw Fully Coolio, and I saw some reviews online. Granted, most of the reviews I saw were not terribly good.
Uh,
But so I was just kind of like, huh, okay, this seems like a really strange animal. Should I watch this? It's like, is it what do I expect? What do I have to prepare for before going into it? And so I asked some friends on Twitter, have you seen this show? What do you think of it? And so, and one guy said, oh yeah, go for it, but just like, just don't be surprised if it leaves you with more questions than answers. So I'm like,
yeah,
okay. And so
yeah.
one Saturday night at around 1 a.m, I said, okay, let's watch it. And so I watched the whole thing, stayed up till 4 a.m. watching it, and then I was just like, holy crap. And I think it made it more profound at 2 a.m. because I was so tired. But it's just like, yeah, I get that. It sunk in more into my subconscious, and it was brilliant. And I
Yeah. It does. It
instantly
sinks
loved
in.
it. It
It
does
definitely.
seep. It does seep in. And I here's the thing. I saw it all in one go. I actually don't recommend that for first-time viewers. Take a break every episode, like a half hour or even a day break, because you notice so much more taking a pause, I think. At least I
Oh,
did the second time
interesting.
around.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. And the other
Yeah.
thing is, like, while watching this, I was confused as shit. Like, I was so confused. Like,
Oh,
I was just like,
absolutely.
I'm like, wait, because his name Taku, right? Taku,
Takun. Yeah.
Takun. Takun is like, it was so trippy and out there because the dude was like, stuff was coming out of his head.
Yes, quite phallic stuff at first too. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit, what is
And
this?
then you had the robot, and then you're like thinking, like,
Oh,
wait a minute, what is? And then you had like other people. You had these monsters that were coming out of nowhere. Like, it was so confusing. And then you're trying to figure out what the hell Harukan was all about, and
yeah,
how easily she slipped into the household. It's just like you're
indeed.
watching this, and you're like, I'm so confused right now. I don't know what's going on. Is Harukan? Does she plan this? Does she not plan this? Is like,
Is she really an
why is there
alien?
things coming out of her? Why is things coming out of his head? Um,
Exactly.
um
It leaves you so lost and confused, but hey, much like Naruto, so it's perfect. He is the audience's avatar in every way.
oh yeah,
Um, so it's quite perfect, I think.
and Takun, like, he's exactly saying what we're saying. Like, why are you in the house? Like, telling Harukan, like, how the hell did you get to, like, what is going on here? I just, like, he's
Exactly.
he's confused, yet he's actually the more mature one, and the whole show is just
The
saying, like,
most
why are you being
mature.
mature? Like, you're a
Exactly.
kid. You're a
Ex-
kid.
Exactly. And ultimately, I think that's what it comes down to is it brings into those questions. I think the main theme of the show is definitely growing up and what that means, what that
Mhm.
implies. And I think the question is, can you grow up while not losing what makes you you? And that's what Naruto's afraid of. He
Yeah,
even says in the beginning, adults are stupid. He has a really big chip on his shoulder. He says he's in denial of the inevitable, and Haruko
yeah,
helps him confront that. Towards the end, he takes more chances. You know,
yeah.
so it's a really wonderful story. Even taking out all the weird stuff, just the way the characters evolve is just brilliant, and even subtly, like hell, my favorite character is actually Mamimi. The
Oh,
older girl. I just because her development is so subtle, but damn, is it well done. You know,
what's crazy about Momimi is I absolutely love just the visual aspect of it about her, not her
oh
design or anything like that. Is the fact I always remember this is the cigarette, the writing
yeah,
on her cigarette.
never knows best.
I love that. I love that little thing, that little detail right there. I just thought that was the world of it. I was like, oh, you know what? If once I do like a short film, I'm gonna do like a homage to that. I'm gonna have somebody, because I always thought that was kind of cool. Cigarettes are bad for cigarettes are bad for you, people. Cigarettes are bad for you.
That's true.
But I'm saying
And they
that
look cool sometimes.
but that little thing, that's just a little that
Yeah.
little detail really kind of stuck with me since I
And
was
not
a
only
kid.
and what I agree, that is definitely one of the most iconic shots and most profound shots of the entire thing. And it makes you wonder also is that obviously that cigarette is basically half used. So it makes you wonder what was written before Never Knows Best that was burned off. What name, who was she referring to? We'll never know.
I always thought it was the brother.
Probably so. Well, maybe
Yeah,
herself. Who knows?
maybe.
We don't know. We don't know.
Mimimi, I know. I like how you brought Mimimi up, because Mimimi, to me, she was such a damaged kind of character.
So damaged, but in such a
So damaged.
realistic
I mean, she's
way.
starting fire to
Yes.
everything. She's
But in a way it's quite realistic though and kind of true to life. I've known people who have gone through depression and it's very realistically handled, I think.
yeah. Yeah.
to the point where she is quite a sympathetic character, even though she makes a hell of a lot of mistakes towards the end. I'm not gonna say she's the catalyst for the climax, but she kind of is with that robot, with that one chunk of the robot, with who acted like a dog and she fed it cars and all that, getting revenge basically.
Yeah.
She is the catalyst, so she
Uh,
kind of fucked some stuff up.
I don't want to say she was too sympathetic because at times I was like, maybe you're dumb, but like,
She was selfish. She is very selfish. But
selfish indeed.
but she's also very hurt. So I think we can at least understand why. She's
Yeah,
kind of lost everything at that point.
that's the beauty about her character is like you could have it's like a love hate kind of relationship. Like you
It
understand a
is.
little bit of it, but then you don't understand like why does she have to be such selfish and just
We don't even
do a lot of things like she does.
we don't even know why she's hanging out at the bridge. Is she what's up with her family? Is she homeless? Does what happened? We don't know. It's subtly implied, and we can kind of fill in the gaps on our own, but it's never outright stated. And that's the key to Fooly Cooly is that it leaves you to fill in the blanks yourself.
Yeah, there's like they tell you it's more questions than answers.
Exactly. And
And
I like that.
I'm pretty sure once we get the 2 seasons that it's going to be the same thing. I don't think they're going to
I
give us
hope
more
so.
answers than
I don't want more answers. That's the brilliance of it.
and you see, this is what makes this anime so freaking unique and crazy. Is a lot of people demand answers, and a lot of people will always say that goes with films as well. Let's say Prometheus. People were
Oh
pissed
yeah.
when Prometheus came out and said, "Hey, I've got more questions than answers, and I
Exactly.
want an answer like right away." And with Fully
Exactly.
Cooley, what's awesome is like, yes, you have more questions than answers, but it
Indeed.
works. It works.
It does. And I think that really helps to make it such an evergreen product as well, because it has so many questions. You can bring what you want into it and make it unique to you. Everyone watches Fooly Cooly differently, and I love that.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
many shows can do that, but
Well,
this one did it.
no, definitely. This show can give you different opinions, perspective towards it, and it's interesting what people have to say about it because people interpret it differently. For me,
Exactly.
I always after the end of the whole thing, I always felt like Takun's story. We know that it's a coming of age kind of story, or it's a like his viewpoints and stuff. But I always felt like the meaning too was don't rush to get old. You know,
Oh,
I always felt
absolutely.
I always thought that
Absolutely.
was kind of like the meaning of do the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Mm, absolutely. And I think excuse me. And I think that in a way, Haruko is kind of the only one who bridges that gap in a way. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like she's the only character who is kind of equally immature while still being mature, at least in some aspects to Naota. And so Naota sees her as that bridge to kind of like almost a mentor in a way of how teach me how to do that. How to
Yeah,
keep that child in myself. It's so subtle. You know, and at first I was afraid when I was first watching it. I was afraid that it would rely too much on the sex appeal, and there are some rather how do I put it?
there's a lot, but it's
Well, I mean,
showed as humorous.
yeah, it is, and I was afraid. I'm actually quite glad it went a humorous route as opposed to doing a soap opera route,
Yeah,
But that now, granted, there are some dramatic scenes between characters when they're just sitting and talking about, what's going on. But it is still well done, though. It's not overdone. It's just
yeah.
enough, you
I
know.
mean, you still get a couple emotional connections here and there, especially with Nauta using the bat.
Oh,
Using the
yeah.
bat to knock that thing. Wait, what was it like like kind of an asteroid type deal?
It was also part of the I guess part of the I'm not sure how to put it. What was that machine? The big hand, anyway. What was the hand? Who made that? Was that Medical Mechanica?
They hint that's what Harukan pretty much says like metal it's so hard to say something that word right there is so freaking hard to say. I'm surprised like those voice actors or Harukan the voice actress, man, she nailed. I don't know how the hell she did it, but metal, come on,
Medical Mechanica.
metal mechanica
Medica.
medica
Medical Mechanica.
medical mechanica. There we go. I got medical. Oh, God damn it.
Okay, we'll just call him MM for short or
All
something.
right,
I
I
don't
can
know.
go MM. Yeah, the
MM.
MM thing, like that was another thing that confused the shit out of me. Like I was looking at
Absolutely.
this thing and I was like, what? That looks like an iron. like an
Yeah,
actual, you're ironing your clothes and stuff.
and it is
And
spoilers.
I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is that? What is MM? What the hell is Harukan saying? And then especially with Nalta, and that's another kind of emotional moment is actually the finale when
Hmm.
he's fighting Harukan, and he's what's his name? The pirate.
Atomisk.
Atomisk, yes. He forms into Atomisk and he's fighting Harukan,
Hmm.
and he goes back to his like human form, and then, of course he tells Harukan like I love you, but yeah, that might have been Animus actually saying that than Nalta.
I don't think
And
so because I think him fighting her, that was Adamus, but he broke out of that. You know, his
that's
feeling,
true.
he couldn't kill her. Because remember, he was going for the death shot when he broke out of that. He snapped out of it himself, I think. So I think that was genuinely Nauta.
No,
I
I
think.
agree with you on that one. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
still wonderful development. Good,
one
great, beautiful moment. You
wonderful
know?
development and stuff, and that's also the that's also growing up as well. Like you could say that Nalta, because throughout the series, like he's just like he's like, why are you here? Like he's kind of annoyed by Harukan, but
Yes.
eventually as we get to the ending, I think he starts forming. He runs away with her. He runs away with her basically.
At the end? When?
Not at the very end, but remember when they're going to
Oh.
MM.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And the
And
manga actually really kind of showcases the relationship kind of even more. And the manga actually has kind of it's a similar ending, most definitely, but
mhm,
there's a little bit more extra at the end.
interesting. So you
Yeah.
think that may be expanded upon in the second season?
I don't know because when we talked about the second season, like you're saying that there was a new character that might be involved, right?
I believe a new protagonist in place of Naota. Yes, I believe so. From what I
So
read.
if that's the case, then no, we're not going to get that
Hmm.
expanded upon, which is
Hmm.
sad because I would have liked to actually see the manga get expanded into the anime
True.
because it's all the same thing, really, just little details here and there.
Hmm.
So
It's very. I must read that someday. Remind me. I gotta read that because
yeah.
it's the missing piece in a way. Now I'm curious. Do you own the Fooly Cooly DVDs?
Well, it's just one DVD.
Just just the one? Oh, you mean the Blu-ray? Oh, because I was referring to the original initial release back in the early 2000s. They were 3 DVDs that came out, each one disc with 2 episodes.
well,
Funny thing, I actually owned those, and they came with little booklets actually detailing the production and interviews with the writers and creators and some of the little subtle details
well,
that worked out for the show.
my DVD consists of my uncle got it at an anime store that's not there anymore. Called I believe it was called Animaniacs in Denver, Colorado.
Nice name.
And they sell DVDs, but it's not the DVDs that's
Oh.
for animation. So I got 1 through 6. Let's just
Oh,
say that
okay.
one DVD.
Very well. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't do that because again, you could put 6 episodes on one DVD and sell it as one disc, but the
Oh,
initial release was 3 DVDs, which is kind of a ripoff, you know, making that money. Yeah, I see what you're doing there. But anyway, though, like I was saying about the booklets that came with it, though, there were some really interesting details in that because it even stuff like Haruko's Vespa, all of that was planned, and there's significance behind that, both personal for the writers and for the character herself. Like for example, you might not know this, but Haruko is left-handed, actually,
I
and
didn't know that.
the significance of that. Well, first of all, it's a left. She has her Vespa requires the use of a somewhat ambidextrous user, even in real life. But what's interesting about that, though, is that they looked at that as, how do I put it? There was an exact quote. Um, I'm tempted to go get the book right now to quote it myself. But what it was basically is that they looked at they subtly implied how she was left-handed, and kind of like how the brain has two different sides. The left side controls, I forget what it was, emotion. I believe the right side does logic, and so
Mm,
her being her. Oh no, it was the other way around. And people who are left-handed are right-brained in a way. So that makes sense with her character. And I love how this ties into it. At the end of that interview, they even mention how he who controls the left side controls the world. You know, one of the first lines of the show comes back around in the form of controlling emotion.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. It's so
that's some deep stuff right
it
there,
is
man.
deep, but it's so subtle. You would never catch it if you didn't know what you were looking for. And the show is full of that kind of stuff. I would love a like 100-page book, just like a hardcover book explaining how they made the show and really going into detail about everything and everyone because there's so much you could fill it with.
Because this, as chaotic and crazy as this anime is, there's a lot of love put into this. There's a lot of thought put
so much passion, so much passion.
For just 6 episodes, you could do that.
You can tell they put so much into it. It really shows.
And it's fun. Overall,
it is fun.
It's fun to watch, and that's what a lot of people, it appeals to a lot of people who don't go into the deep aspect of it, but just watch it because they like it. It's fun, and that's what it is. Fun. That's exactly what it's trying to do. But for us, like, we can also connect to it because there's a lot of things here and there that's very subtle that you could actually find.
Indeed, and you know what I think is my favorite part of the show, maybe even more than the characters? I was going to ask you,
what is your favorite part in the whole 6 episodes?
The dialogue. Isolated scene is a different answer, but my favorite overall part of the show is the dialogue in both dubs, but especially in the English dub. It is so wonderfully written. All of Naoto's little monologues and all that, even Mamimi's monologues, they are so well written. You can get so much out of them.
I was going to say the dub. This is one of the animes where if you dub versus sub that we always say, this dub is one of the best dubs in anime.
Of all time. Absolutely. And it's quite surprising, actually, because a lot of the actors who were in it, they don't do a lot of anime. Like Kari Walgren, who was Haruko, I don't think she's done a hell of a lot of anime since this.
She is awesome. Every time when I read this manga, I was thinking Harukan's voice actress the whole way, because she just... It's crazy. There's some things like animes where these voice actors and voice actresses come in and they just knock it out of the park. Just like recently, I saw The Jungle Book with Ben Kingsley as Bagheera, and I was like, and that's perfect casting. That was perfect casting for Harukan.
It was. Well, and I would say the same thing applies with Steve Bloom for Spike Spiegel.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Better than the Japanese version, in my opinion.
You don't even want to hear anything else. You just want to hear
exactly.
that.
And that's kind of why maybe they couldn't make a Bebop movie, because nobody else has that voice or that charisma. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, wonderful casting. Every character is perfectly done, perfectly acted. I can't recall a single moment of bad acting in the entire thing. Again, only 6 episodes, but still, everyone is just perfectly spot on. And hell, actually, it's kind of ironic. But speaking of Bebop, another good actress in the show is Melissa Fawn, who played, I forget her name, Naota's the younger, kind of like the younger girl, the one who was...
Oh, the president?
Yes, exactly.
I'm looking to her in a minute, too.
I know, but I was just saying, interesting thing is that she's voiced by Melissa Fawn in the dub, and she also voiced Ed in Bebop. It's perfect.
It's so funny how different characters they are, though.
It is. She's a good actress, actually. Very underrated. She was also in Invader Zim a lot. Good character there, too. She was Gaz.
Wait, was she Tak?
No, she was Gaz. Tak was Olivia Diabo, who I don't recall from any of the stuff, actually. But yeah, just wonderful acting, and more importantly, great scripts. They went through so much trouble, because that's the thing. Some of these things... Fooly Cooly is so embedded in Japanese culture and pop culture, it's very difficult to translate any of that. I mean, watch the original version with subtitles on. There's so many little nods to stuff like Doraemon and little obscure pieces of Japanese culture and puns from the language too, that are confusing. Which that's why I recommend that you watch and read about the original dub so you understand what the English dub is trying to convey. Because they can't do every joke perfectly in the dub. It's not going to work. I
mean, and what's so great about this one is like the voice acting and stuff. It sounds like they too are having fun with it. Like, it sounds like
absolutely,
especially Haruka.
Absolutely.
She's having a blast.
They are. You can absolutely tell.
And Naruto is actually he's good. He's good.
Indeed. They're all good, and I especially do like Naoto's voice actress, and I don't know what else she's done, but I hope she's gone on to do some good stuff, because she was a very good actress. And same thing with Mamimi. I think I've heard her before. Now, granted, I think Mamimi was a tad bit too monotone in some cases, but I think that was more her character and less on the actress. Because in the Japanese version, her tone was a bit wonky here and there, which I think, again, fit with the character. So I can't blame the actress for trying to mimic that. You know,
I
it's
felt
just
like it was direction wise too.
it was, I think, and but when you're watching it for the first time, though, you kind of go, "Huh? You know, why is she talking like that? What? You know, she's using the wrong tone here." But again, it makes it kind of pop out in your mind a bit. You notice it more because it is unique. It
Yeah.
stays in your mind more, and I like that. So, yeah, it's all intentional. I think it's all intentional, and that's the coolest part of it all. I think you could
No.
say it was a big mess of that's happened to work, but no, this was intentional. They knew what they were doing when they wrote this thing. They knew what they were doing when they dubbed this thing. It was so it was a moment of perfection, I think, between all
Yeah.
parties.
And just man, like yeah. I mean, I don't even go to. I'm sorry. I mean, the sub is good, but the
Yeah,
dub is just like that's what I want to hear.
it
It's an
is.
actual
I
anime
would.
that I want to hear with
It is.
dub.
I would recommend the sub only for curiosity's sake and to understand some aspects of it better. But by far, if I'm watching it, I will watch the dub. Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
cool. Like, do you have any info if any of the same voice actors and actresses are coming back for season two?
N- I do not have any information yet on that, but I would assume they would kind of have to. You can't do this without Kari Walgren. Thankfully, I believe all the actors are still alive and still working, so I don't see any
Yeah.
reason why they couldn't get them. Um,
That's a scary thing. Is like when you watch an anime and they're like, let's say Inuyasha, right?
yeah,
Inuyasha, like when they brought it back, it's like everybody was alive. Like that's a scary thing when you have a long running
yeah, yeah.
anime and then
Well,
come back. It's like things happen.
that's true.
Things definitely
For
happen.
example,
Retirement, whatever.
for the
Things happen.
great example of Inuyasha, because when they came back to do the final act, David Kay, who plays Shishomaru, he had moved from Canada to LA, so he couldn't do the show anymore. So they had to find a new actor for Shishomaru. That you don't really notice unless you research the show, but still, stuff happens like that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
thankfully they're all still working. So if they don't get the original cast back, or at least Haruko, because again, there might not be a whole lot of reoccurring characters, but if they don't get Kari Walgren back, then it's not going to work. But
yeah.
and actually, here's the thing: clearly, Fulikuli is equally inspired by American culture as it is Japanese. There's so many little nods to
Elvis.
hell, how about South Park, for crying out loud? That little moment when it's to go South Park style for a moment, and
Oh,
Elvis, like you said. It's this. There is a lot of American culture in this, so it seems really interesting that the new season seems to be made for Toonami. It's made for the American audience first, in a way. And I wonder if that's because it was more popular over here, or has more of a following over here, or because as almost a nod to those cultural references. I wonder, kind of like.
and like I said, the gut feeling is I think it was. I think it definitely was more
I think so.
popular here. I
I
mean,
think so. You know.
um, yeah, I just think it was way more popular right here. And I
I
wanted to ask you, what was your favorite scene in the Fully Cooley series?
Oh God, favorite scene. There's a scene where Naota and Haruko are eating ramen, which I think it's in episode 6. Um, and there's this wonderful moment I love. Where what happened was that Haruko she got a very large bowl of instant ramen, and apparently it tasted bad. And now she got a regular sized one, and now it's just like, you can't get that one just because it's bigger. You have to go with a name brand. And Haruko steals Naota's ramen and starts eating herself, and he's like, hey, and I forget the dialogue leading up to it, but there's this wonderful line she says that I think perfectly expresses her outlook. That says, she says, eating bad ramen can be kind of fun too. I love that moment. I don't know why it sticks out to me, but it's just a great matter of perspective and outlook. She says,
Yeah,
that says a lot about her character. She makes do with what she has, because deep down she is flawed, and I think she knows it. You know,
yeah,
she doesn't let on to it very much, but she knows it, and so I think that's a great moment of acceptance of the situation. Just kind of like, whatever happens, happens. Kind of like Spike in a way. So
yeah.
that's one of my
Okay.
favorite moments. But I also, if I may, I'll put another one in there real quick. I'm sorry, I don't want to drag too much
Plug it
time
in.
out.
Plug it in.
But what was it? God, there's so many great ones. I can't decide here.
There's a lot of great ones.
Oh, and especially in the intro scenes. Oh, I I really like the scene. As far as editing goes, there's the scene in episode 2 where Mimimi first sees Kanti, the robot, and she thinks he's God.
Oh
Um,
god. Yeah.
and the song that plays in that background is done by the Pillows, and it's called Hybrid Rainbow. Look up the song if you want to see it itself. But the juxtaposition of that scene, the lighting, the way they use the music is just gorgeously done. Just that 1 30-second scene, beautifully done. I love it. So that's my one of the best things editing wise I think I've seen. Just I love juxtaposition, and it's perfectly timed and cued. And we gotta talk about the music too, bro. We gotta do that.
Oh yeah,
So,
the music is
but,
definitely,
but first of all, what are your scenes?
like you said, there's so many great
So
freaking
many.
scenes.
The whole episode, the whole series is just a series of great scenes. You know,
Oh my god! Like just
are
thinking,
there any bad scenes?
uh, I really did like the climactic battle as well. Like it really just,
Oh,
I mean, it just was like icing on the cake. But if I had to do, I'm gonna go. I always like more subtler kind of scenes, more like
hmm.
definitely ones. I feel like it's kind of an iconic scene, and that was the Elvis scene when she's just like red hot chili peppers, and she has a guitar going and everything. And she's like spinning the guitar and flying like a
Oh,
helicopter.
yeah. Oh,
That
exactly.
particular scene just sticks with me. Like when I think fully coolly, I
Oh,
automatically go to that scene because it's
I
just
agree.
like
It's one of the
it's
best.
so it's so fun, funny, yet like references are
Absolutely.
there,
It's one
and
of
of
the.
course
There's so
it's
much
all good.
energy in that too. It's the animation alone.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
so much energy, and that's what's so great about Harukan is like she's so freaking energetic. She's so
Mm.
like crazy. She's like, wow, nah, nah. Like she's just out there, and it just that's why it makes the show so freaking entertaining. Just because Harukan,
Indeed.
a lot of it.
And what a great contrast for Naota too, who is much more calm, reserved, and cautious and
He's
confused. It's such a great
mature when
contrast.
yeah, he's mature, but they're like, dude, you're a kid. Come on,
Exactly,
drinking
exactly.
coffee and shit,
Lighten
and
up.
yeah.
Love it.
The music too. And then what I really, when we're getting into the music, it plays well with this series as well. I mean, but what I love about it is that Harukan always has a guitar.
Always. True. A bass
Oh,
guitar to be exact.
yeah, and then even the final confrontations, like it's guitar on guitar. Like I love that. I love that thought and process and the aspect of it.
Indeed, and I again more mystery is kind of like what is the significance of guitars here? Because even Atomisk has a guitar, you know.
Yeah,
It's like what is this, you know? And I love how they're also actual guitar models too, like the Gibson EB0. You know, those are real models you can actually buy if you want to. And granted, a funny thing actually is that Haruko's bass is a Rickenbacker, incredibly rare, incredibly hard to find. They only made a few of them, and the left-handed model too. So it's it adds even more uniqueness to her character in a very subtle way if you know your guitars. But you ever notice how she has a generator on the back of it? I always wondered why. You know,
yeah.
it's
I was
weird.
wondering as well.
We'll never know. Even the book didn't explain it. The little guidebook. They said even it asked why would she have that there. You know,
it asked that.
even it did. Even the book didn't know. The little book in the DVD didn't know. So who knows? Probably never know. But it
Well,
looks
that's
cool though.
like we said. That's so great. Like you're never gonna know, and that's fine. Like I
It
don't
is.
need to
It
know.
is fine.
It's just
It
fun to think about.
It is fun. But yeah, I love the guitar motif, the rock and roll aspect of it, which goes in with the music too. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that the band who did the music, the Pillows, I believe they
Mhm.
were somewhat involved in the production of the show, or at least in some regard. I heard about that. I don't know what they did exactly, but it kind of shows because hell, you could look at the show as one big music video.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
basically is
You
that.
can, you can.
It basically is.
Though I think the top. This is the ending. But like, you had to put this in maybe the top 30. Let's say top 30 because I don't think this is the best, but I think it's very definitely it suits the show and it's so iconic. Is the ending credits? You know when it goes down, down,
Oh,
down,
that would be
down,
I
down.
th- I think that is a song called Last Dinosaur. I forget
I
what
think
it
it was
was.
Last Dinosaur.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
I think
And
it was
it's a
Last
great,
Dinosaur.
it's a
And the mix of
great song.
realistic, the realistic like real life shots and stuff, mixing
Yeah,
with
yeah. Oh, I love
the
that.
Vespa. Like it's awesome. It's an awesome
It does.
ending to an anime like that. So
One of
I
the
think that's
best,
very classic and very iconic
definitely.
right there.
And they could have, and that's the thing. They could have just done not much with it. They could have made it animated, but they went through the extra effort to add those live action images and to make this juxtaposition and this. Again, I think you know, going back to the music video thing. Watch the textless version of the credits on the Blu-ray. It's a music video. It's perfect. It's perfect. You know,
Yeah,
I love that scene too. Also, where we see it's Haruko at, I guess, at an airport, and she's trying to fix her Vespa, and the lighting is really good in that little shot. It's a series of shots in the credits about, she's trying to fix her Vespa, and she just ends up kicking it and dragging it along. And it's hilarious, and it is her character in a nutshell. It's brilliant, and they get
yeah,
no
pretty much.
dialogue. Subtle, very subtle like that. Um, but yeah, I say it's definitely in my top 10 anime soundtracks, maybe even in my top five. I kind of like it actually more than Bebop's in a way, dare I say.
Really?
I mean, here's the thing: Bebop is such a great, varied soundtrack. There's so many different genres. This is one genre, and it's
I was about
self-contained.
to say, yeah.
I
Bebop has like a lot of little jazz, a lot of
well,
jazz in there.
here's the thing I would say. Bebop is one of the best soundtracks for a show, but I would buy the soundtrack for Fully Cooley on a CD and listen to it in my car. You know, it's just music. It's good music, period, as opposed to good music for the show.
Yeah,
And I still love Bebop soundtrack, but it's just they're more. I don't know how to describe it, man. It's kind of just apples and oranges kind of thing. They're both really good, but I
no,
find myself going to Fully Cooley soundtrack more just for listening's sake than I do Bebop. Not that Bebop isn't great; it is, but it's I don't know. And I got myself. I probably just got myself into hot water for saying that. But I mean,
it's
I don't
okay.
know, man.
Nobody's watching right now. Until
Always
later.
judging.
Until later. Be like, oh, what the hell does this guy say? What did he say?
I still love them both though. They're both great. I don't know, man. What
They're
but
both different beasts on its own.
they
Like,
are. It's almost uncomparable. One is so varied and has so many different genres. Hell, from uh, you know everything practically. Bebop has everything in its music. Fully Cooley
I,
is just one thing, but it does it so well. You
what I
know?
love about Fully Cooley, it doesn't feel like a big production type of anime. It feels like an
No,
independent
it
anime.
does. It does, and it feels less corporate. I think. And that's
Oh
kind of what I'm
yeah,
worried about because I fear that the second season is a corporate move in itself. So what will that mean? Will they restrict freedom? But
I would think as much as Fully Cooley has gotten popular definitely over the years. I mean, I don't understand the decision really because if I was like corporate and if I was like looking at well okay what kind of animes do I want to distribute and what can make us money. I don't think Fully Cooley really makes you money. I
not
think
really. No.
I don't think it does. I think I always go back to film and all that stuff and movies and stuff, and it's rightfully so. Like Fully Cooley to me is like Judge Dredd. All right,
Oh.
Judge Dredd. There's Sylvester Stallone, Judge Dredd.
Mhm.
They did a big production. It failed. They did the Carl Urban Judge Dredd, and everybody loved it, but it didn't. It wasn't successful in the box office. But it
Yeah.
has a cult following, and people want a sequel to that. But I think the studios know that no, we're not going to make another Judge Dredd movie because it's still not going to make money as much as we want. So
Mm.
I always think that for Fully Cooley, where yes, it has a cult following, but I don't think it's going to make Naruto money. I don't think it's going to make One Piece money. I don't even think it's going to make Full Metal Alchemist money. It's not going to
Oh
make
no.
that kind of money. It's
Yeah.
just going to probably break even. But the decision to make another season, as much as I like it, and as it's confusing to me why they would do this.
It is.
Other than that, they're fans themselves. That's it.
I can only think that maybe Gainax is kind of struggling a bit because I can't think of any real Gainax productions in the last few years. Maybe Panty and Stocking, maybe that have really had any lasting impact at all besides Fully Cooley.
Fully cool, yeah.
I don't really know a whole lot about Gainax, but I think it seems like this is one of their best product ever. So maybe they're getting a bit desperate. Maybe they're like, okay, we need to get some more life into the company. So
I
let's take our most beloved product and make more of it.
I
Maybe who
can't
knows?
remember if because I remember a few years ago because Fully Cooley, like they said the team that worked on Fully Cooley, I don't know if it was for the anime for Girl on Logon or it was for something else. I can't remember. But Gurren Lagann was amazing.
Well,
uh,
obviously.
I could see the resemblance to this in Gurren Lagann animation style.
Let's see. Was Gurren Lagann Gainax? Because I don't recall.
I think it was.
Maybe if it was, I correct my statement. Never mind then,
I
because Gurren
think it
Lagann
was
obviously has had an impact.
because I remember they really made definitely a effort to save the people who were behind Fully Cooley.
Maybe you're right. I really need to brush up on my history of that company because I have liked their work in the past, so I should brush up on that. Now, I forget. One Punch Man was Aniplex, right? That wasn't Gainax.
I don't even know
I think
honestly.
it was Aniplex. I'm not sure, but I don't think it was Gainax.
But you watch One Punch Man, huh?
I did.
We need to do
Uh,
a podcast on One Punch Man.
we should also do one on Bebop. So
Oh
much
yeah,
to do.
Bebop.
So much to
I
do.
would want to rewatch that definitely though.
Indeed. I also want to do one on Alchemist, but I need to rewatch it first. It's been years, so
Which
I
one, the
need to.
first or second?
Oh, maybe first and then second. Why not?
Oh, that's true.
Do both.
I love the first
Do
one
both.
more.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it seems like the more beloved product, actually. Yeah. And here's an idea also. Maybe we could do a nostalgia anime podcast with Pokemon and Digimon.
We should do
You know,
that, and we should
our
do
first ones.
underrated anime of all time.
Ooh, I like that. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay.
Because
But
Fully
anyway,
Cooley, it's still underrated.
it is.
It's still underrated. A lot of people, they say the question comes up, what the fuck is Fully Cooley? Like they'll always say
Exactly.
that. What is Fully Cooley?
Even my friend who has watched a lot of anime, he didn't even know, he never heard of it. And I think that's the thing. It really only exists in kind of circles. It has its own niche in a way. And if you're not already a part of that niche, you're less likely to discover it. You have to take a chance.
And I wanted to show you like the manga. What's so crazy about the manga is like it's just as crazy as the anime when it comes to design. It's different than the animation wise, but it has that looniness towards it. Like just look at this stuff, man.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
gorgeous though.
It's
That's brilliant.
it's so different than what you when you pick up and you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get super detailed work. It's not like that.
Yeah,
It's not super detailed. It's very it
it's
just has
chaotic.
this feeling towards it. You have this feeling towards it that you go with it and you could roll with it, which I actually absolutely love.
I like that too, man. I will read that or pick it up sometime. I really must. There's no bookstore. There's no really a bookstore up here though. I'll see. Maybe I can order it online. I'm sure I can order it
You can
online.
order it online. I got this at
I'm sure I
Barnes
can.
and Noble or
Ah,
Borders.
nice.
Borders. I forgot what it was called.
No
Um,
borders anymore.
One of the
But
characters we do need to touch upon though is the actual the other girl. The
yes. Yeah. What? Let me think about her name. It's
it's
Nina More. Is that it? Nina
yeah,
More.
Nina More.
Nina More.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. I think
I
that's what it is.
I think so. Yes. I'm not sure if that's her first name or last name because I know Mamimi's is Sajimema Sa, Sajimina Mamimi. I'm not sure, but it's
Well,
something
that's a
like that.
mouthful.
It is a mouthful, almost as much as Haruko. uh, but
Yeah, I think it's I think
I also
you're right.
we've got to talk about her, and I also really want to talk about the agent, the secret
The
agent with
eyebrows, eyebrows.
the
I will let you know though the
eyebrows.
agent isn't even in here.
Really?
Yeah,
What? How could he be absent? He's
he's
one of the main
absent from this.
characters.
Honestly,
How?
yeah.
How? I don't get that. Okay, well, okay, so we'll save him for the just for the anime, I guess. No manga comparison for him.
I
But
think he
that's
might have had one shot in here, like just one little brief appearance, but I don't think he's not in it.
and the manga came after the show, right? I believe.
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's weird that they took him out of that. That's
it
crazy.
works though. It still works.
I'm sure it does. He provides an interesting aspect into the look of Haruko because that way we get well we'll save him for later, like I said. But as for Nina Mori though, um, I think again a wonderful character, and especially the one episode I think she has episodes 3 almost all to herself.
Yeah,
Which I think was a brilliant move because she was basically just a background character um, before then and after then, but they fleshed her out wonderfully in that episode and very subtly too.
and they do the same thing with the manga as well. I think
Good,
she is somewhat of an important character because a lot of ways she is like Nalta. I mean, she is
very much
she
so.
has to be mature. She has to be mature because of the scandal that's going on
Indeed.
between the father and stuff.
In many ways, I think she's also more mature than Naota, and she's kind of has to be in a way. You know,
Yeah,
at least in that episode. Naota kind of rounds out more later, but definitely Nina Mori is definitely I think a more mature character and almost to the point of coldness, almost being abrasive. But again, she kind of has to be.
yeah.
because he is a kid, and I think one of the main things about Fooly Cooley that happens with almost every character, especially her and Nauta, is coping with feelings you have no idea what to do with. You know,
Yeah.
you're just lost in this sea of emotion. You don't know what to do.
Well, just interesting. I was just thinking right now, like this. I think a lot. What's crazy is that I think a lot of characters rely on a certain character so they could feel like a kid again.
Yes.
So let's say, like, Nalta is mature, yet he relies on Harukan to feel a little bit more, more like a kid.
Mhm.
Where you can say even with Mamimi, she's relying on Nalta to feel like she used to, especially with her, what she had with his brother.
Good point.
And what was her name again?
Nina More, I believe.
Nima More is the same, where she's so mature, yet she relies on Nalta to feel a little bit more like of a kid, to feel like she's at ease when she's with him. She's able to like smile a little bit, like when she's very interested with the character. And I think she's more relaxed with Nalta than what we see in the series.
I think that's why she made him Puss in Boots. You know, she rigged the vote so we could work with him. You know, there's definitely a connection there. Uh,
Yeah,
but and not even necessarily a romantic one, just one of I think of appreciation and friendship. You know, and that's really interesting to see
I
because
would go romantic route though.
towards the end, yes, but I think I'm not. It's very subtle though. It's not head over heels in love. It's much more realistic, and I
This whole
love
thing
that.
when it comes to romance is very subtle, especially with Nalta and Harukan. Like you don't really
Yes,
see it until like kind of like the end,
and
and you
that's
really don't see it until like the manga ending too.
indeed, and I'm so glad about that too because I for one am not a fan of love triangles and harem anime. You know, I can watch Tenchi Muyo, but I'm not a terribly huge fan of it because it seems
How
you
dare
know
you, Colt?
I'm sorry.
This
I'm sorry.
podcast right
I
now.
don't like harem anime. It just seems it just kind of it's just cliched at one thing after another. But this one, and here's the thing, on paper, it looks like a harem anime because he has Naota. No, excuse me. Naota has Mamimi, Haruko, Ninamore. You know, he has these love interests that he could go with, and we don't know who. But it's not a main focus. It is in the background. It's more subtle. It's more
Yeah.
emotional. I like that.
What I like
You know?
about this, it's not even like it's not even the middle. It's like at the end. Like they don't
Yes.
have this romance
It's
until
almost.
this
It's
is
almost
in
it's
the
almost
back.
shoehorned in for crying out
Yeah.
loud. It is like the last thing they wanted to do with it, and that's great because seldom does romance really ever work on a character level. You know,
Yeah, I think the
seldom.
best romance aspects work when you're not really overthinking it and you're not really trying
Yes,
to put it in there. It just subtly happens
naturally.
naturally, and that's
It
exactly
has
what happens with Fully Cooley.
has to be natural.
Yeah,
Absolutely, and
and
I
they still
love
don't
that.
give you an answer. They
No,
don't. It's not like he goes, "Oh, I love you," or well, he kind of does, but it's not like he's like, "Oh, let's be together forever," and it
indeed.
happens, happy ending. It's not like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I'm pretty sure from the last shot we see, I'm pretty positive that Nina Mori and Naota ended up together because well, obviously Haruko left, and there's that one line also of Mamimi, where now says Mamimi went back to school, so that she found a way to move on with life,
Yeah,
you know, and that's good. And I was at first, here's the thing regarding the ending, I felt it was a bit too sudden the first couple times I saw it, because it seemed like okay, it's just so abrupt. It's just starting and then it's gone, and then it's like okay, they in a couple lines they sum up characters. We don't really see what happens to the characters. We hear about it, but the more I watch it, I'm like that felt right. I think that seems about right because it's just enough. You know, you don't need to see it really. You
for
know,
the very ending, I would go with the manga.
what does it do differently if you might enlighten me?
So spoiler alert. It's from it's very much the same like the anime.
Mhm.
Honestly, when it comes to the fight, when it comes to his feelings for Haruka, and all that stuff, and defeating her and this and that. But what happens at the end basically is that Haruka disappears, right?
Yeah.
And supposedly, like, there's this uh, Nalta wakes up and after the big battle and stuff, and it's Haruka, but dressed up in like a nurse outfit.
Huh.
And he's like, "Oh, Haruka, like, oh, and Haruka goes like, no, 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 I'm not Haruka. I'm her supervisor. We sent Haruka away because she's been asking, like, she's been doing a bunch of trouble, this and that. So we had to, get her out of here, this and that. But honestly, it's really Haruka. She's just making this bullshit story up and everything like that. She even kisses him at the end, like at one point,
Aw.
kisses him, and she's like, "Oh, thank you for all what you did, this and that," and they leave. But she leaves him the Vespa. She leaves him the Vespa,
Oh,
and she says, "If you're able to master this Vespa, you'll be able to see Haruka again." And you
match to the
see
left side.
Naruto over and over again try to master the Vespa, falling off, and yet he kind of gets it going a little bit towards the end, and like it shows uh, I believe the cat at the end too.
And the guitar?
They show the old woman and the dog.
Huh. I kind of like that
Couple
actually
cats.
because
Couple cats. Okay, it goes right here. Yeah. He's crying, he can't get it to go, and then he finally gets it going. Vroom, 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 vroom.
that sounds pretty cool actually.
It's actually
Uh,
a really cool one. Like I do kind of prefer that, but then I like the anime ones as well.
I love that shot of the very last shot of the anime is the guitar and it's just sitting on the stand and then we see the string be
String move.
plucked, the string
Yeah.
vibrate once. That's all you need. That's so perfect. You know?
Okay, cool. Let's get into the next season. That's an interesting one because it could have just stayed like that. You could have left it alone. We didn't need any more, but now we're going to the more seasons. And as much as I'm like kind of excited, I'm kind of worried too.
I'm worried because I'm afraid it might diminish the significance of the original because it was such a short, perfect product. Would even the idea of adding more, even if no matter how good it is, it may ruin that ending may just
And they
what was
already
it for
are.
then?
They're already adding more, which is a new protagonist. And I'm like, you don't need a new
Exactly. It
protagonist.
just seems it's something about it seems off. Yeah, actually, you know what I would prefer actually think about like maybe a I don't know. Like if I were to do any kind of continuation at all, I would do maybe like just like a little short, like a little I don't know, like a 5 minute short of seeing an older Naruto or something like that, meeting up with Haruko again. Like just I don't know, it's just something very small, very short, very kind of like reminding you, oh, this existed, this happened, this was a thing. We
Yeah.
don't. I don't. I'm worried about it because they have to do it just right, or else it will tarnish the original and it will not live up to the expectation. I'm sure it'll be enjoyable and well animated, but still, it has to be done really, really damn good.
I,
You know,
I honestly would like to see Malta be the main guy again because he
I
was such an interesting and fascinating character.
I'm worried. Here's what I think actually. I think he may be the new version of Eyebrows.
I don't want
Yeah.
that.
I know because that was the whole point of his of excuse me if I call him eyebrows, but that was the whole point of his character to be the opposite route that Naota could take. You know, he is that dark future for Naota, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
but
come on, nobody wants him to do that.
I don't want him to do that, but I think he may be a somewhat of a version of that. Maybe kind of maybe we'll get like a little cameo or something like that. Maybe him talking to the new protagonist and saying, hey, better watch out for her. She's trouble. Something subtle, something older, wiser, and kind of just maybe he will come back as a mentor or just a friend, or hell, maybe the new protagonist is his daughter. We don't know how much time has passed. We don't know
Exactly.
yet. So it could be Naruto could be dead. We don't know. We don't know. So who knows? I may perhaps what Fully Cooley was for the new millennium, in a way, the new Fully Cooley will define another chapter of modern history. Maybe it will take place in the modern day with all kinds
Yeah,
of technology and other stuff like that. Who knows? Who knows where it can go? I'm kind of worried. Press release actually, they also mentioned how I don't know why they stressed this, but one of the questions they asked was what happened to Conti, which is kind of interesting actually. I do wonder what happened to Conti because he was just kind of just around there. Did Medical Mechanica come back for him? What did he do from that point on? We don't know.
exactly.
I'm curious to find out. And actually, the way you actually too, can we think about it? Conti is also kind of an interesting character because he is in a way pure innocence in a way compared
Yeah,
to the characters. He kind of represents that total naivete in a way of everything. So he's kind of again the opposite extreme of Naota in a way.
Oh,
Uh,
most definitely.
very subtle like that. I just now kind of realized that. But I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from this new season. I have no idea. Hell, I don't even know if season 2 and 3 are going to be technically one story or two different stories. I don't know.
It's
No one knows.
I don't know.
Because that's the thing. I worry about this also is that in a way, Fully Cooley has arcs, but they are so loosely connected. It is
Yeah,
much more a series of standalone moments that just kind of coincide. I'm
yeah.
worried with 12 episodes, they may try to make a really deep, serious arc with cliffhangers, and I don't think Fully Cooley can work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. It
Not
has
work
to
like that.
be isolated little moments, and if they can do again, if they can do it right, great. But I'm just worried they may try something new, or if not something new, then they may go the opposite route and make it where there's nothing fresh. Which I,
Yeah,
I kind of doubt. They'll make it fresh, I'm sure. They'll find something new to bring to it. But I'm really worried they may try to make something new. Say, okay, this worked last time. Let's add to it. You can't add to the formula.
yeah.
It's already
Because Fully
perfect.
Cooley is holding by a thread with cohesiveness.
Exactly. You
A
can't. If you
thread.
if you if you add more, it won't work. Again, that's the thing. It was such a spontaneous, crazy product that can that be replicated? I'm not sure it can.
I
Because
think it
people.
was
That's the
good
thing.
for its time.
It was, and I'm worried about this too because apparently a lot of the original writers are back on board. A lot of the original production staff is back on board. But again, people change. They may be the same people, but are they the same writers? Do
Yeah.
they still have the magic? Because people change over 15 years. That's a long
Big
time.
example is Dragon Ball.
That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. Toriyama changed a hell of a lot between Dragon Ball and the Buu saga. So
Yeah,
it's like, I'm concerned with that. Maybe
yeah,
again, but maybe they can do it. Because again, if this was intentional, then maybe they can get back into that mindset and make it intentional again. If it was not an accident, which I don't think it was, then I think maybe it can be done again. Maybe as a big maybe.
yeah.
We'll see.
Um,
We'll see.
the way I feel is like Fully Cooley. If I had to think about it, like I just don't. I don't think we're gonna get the same. I don't think it's gonna be the same impact and magical as the first time you saw Fully Cooley or the first Fully Cooley season.
Yeah.
Does that necessarily mean it's going to be bad? No. I mean, I'm hoping it'd be good, but I just don't think you're gonna. Like I said, I think that Fully Cooley was good for its time
Yes.
at that moment, and for this one, I don't think it's definitely not going to be as successful as a lot of people would think it would be.
Don't
And I
tell me
think I'm hoping it is, but I'm hoping I'm wrong.
that.
But then that also goes to the fact that a lot of people, when they're going to watch this, are going to be like fans like us. They're going to want, to have the same crazy yet holding by a thread storyline, and they're going to have the same worries as us. Like, what is this all about? Like, what are we getting ourselves into?
Indeed.
Are they going a little bit moderate? Just like kind of the cliches of the anime, and stuff, and like you said, having actual arcs, because it doesn't work like that. They shouldn't have.
Yes. It shouldn't have arcs, and that's the thing. Like we said, Fully Cooley is much more driven by character than it was really anything else. More so than even in the setting. The setting was basically normal. It was meant to be normal.
That's what's got me worried. Is that
The worst thing they could do is go into space. That's the worst thing that we could do. Go into space and you learn more about that. We don't need to learn more about that. That would ruin it. It would make Earth so less important. You know.
yeah?
And what's the
Oh,
point then?
well, if they do that, they need Nalta. They need,
That's true.
and we don't have Nalta. That's what worries me the most. Is that I think what's really bothering me is that they're changing protagonists, which I'm feeling like that's a bad move. Like I don't think I don't know yet until we watch it, of course. But I feel like I mean, well, Nalta was like, I think what we want to see is that reunion. We do want to see a little bit of that reunion with him and Haruka, and we want
And
to
we
see
might,
them
I
singing.
think. And I think we will. To what degree, I don't know. But I doubt it will be completely absent of Naruto unless it's way far in the future and he's dead. I
Yeah.
really doubt it will be it will end there for Haruko and Naruto. And again, I wouldn't want too much. I would just want just a subtle little reunion, not too much.
Well,
You know,
here's the thing. The reason I say that too is because like this new protagonist, I'm assuming is a kid again,
I believe she's a girl too, so that's interesting.
a kid
Which
girl.
which makes sense.
Interesting, but I don't want to know. I don't want it to go the rehash route as well.
Yes, that's true. You don't want to recycle ideas or concepts, and that's kind of hard because again,
Are
Fooly
we getting
Cooly
another
packs
coming of
so
age story?
that's the thing. I think maybe perhaps we will, and that's kind of what I'm worried about because they packed so much into those six episodes. It's kind of hard to think of what more you can add to it.
So why don't
What?
you change it up? Why don't you have him like older, where he is
Right.
actually mature, yet he
Exactly.
doesn't know how to have fun anymore and to embrace, life anymore until Haruka comes back into the picture.
Indeed, indeed. There is potential there to see him again and go. But the question is, this new protagonist, what can they do with her? What direction can they take her that would still work? And I'm
Exactly.
I'm I'm afraid maybe they might go into space. And again, if it's done well, because there's a lot of potential they could have in that universe. There's a lot of potential there for just for a coming of age story. But again, it has to be done really properly. And I forget. Here's the thing. When the news came out, I saw a GIF. I'm not sure if it's right or not. Do you recall the GIF actually? It was on the headlines, and what it was a little snippet of animation, and what it was Haruko basically I think smashing the head of a giant robot with her guitar. And it looked like it was in space too. We saw some stars, so either space or at night. So this may be more of an intergalactic space hopping kind of show. We'll see. I don't know.
I'm not necessarily saying it's not gonna that it couldn't work. I mean, it could work.
It could work, but I feel like you ruin the mystery of Haruko if you go too far into who she really is, what she really does, what her story is. You know, the show is not really about her; it's about the character's reaction to her. She is
Mhm.
in essence more of a plot device than she is a character, if that makes sense. So she is still a character. So
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that.
There's a lot of I think there's a lot more concerns than like optimism.
Yeah, kinda. I am cautiously optimistic. I've been surprised before by anime I didn't think would work. For example, there's one I'm watching now. You may have heard of it called Boku no Hero Academia. You ever hear of that
Come on,
one?
Cole. I'm reviewing it.
I forgot about that, but it's like on paper it sounds like okay, cliche superhero. We've seen this
I just
before.
saw the new episode today too.
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good. We should do a podcast on that too. Another one recommended to me by my girlfriend. But either way, though, on paper it sounds cliche as hell. It seems like this wouldn't work. We've seen it before. Hell, Disney did this idea with Sky High back in '06. Remember that movie? You know what I mean?
And
It's
then
it's been done
go ahead,
before.
go for it.
It's been done before. But yet, surprisingly, it's really good. The protagonist is really well written. Everyone's really good in that show. The acting is wonderful. I mean, hell, just the even just the visual designs. I have not read the manga yet, but it's a great product, and you wouldn't think it was.
It's funny. Just we're gonna touch on Boku no Hero Academia real quick. I love it, man. I love everything that they're doing with it,
It's
but
great.
there's still a lot of Naruto in there.
Yes, obviously.
There's some kick ass in there.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's One Punch Man in there.
Oh, hell of a lot of One Punch Man. Are you kidding me? Even the way it looks, the animation
Even
alone.
the actual like superhero kind of like them training.
Yeah, yeah.
Organization. It's not. It's an awesome anime, but don't. It's definitely not like
I would
Fully
say,
Cooley, where
I
it's
would
just
say,
insane, like it's unique.
indeed, I would say it's also a bit weak in other characters. Like for example, Deku's love interest. She's kind of bland, and so is his main rival. The explosion guy.
Kaichan is just a dick. Like,
Yeah, and but we don't even know why he's a dick. He's kind of just a jerk for the sake of
thank
being a
you.
jerk. He has almost no development.
Yeah, like
It's
I get. We can just
he's just a
assume.
dick.
We can make assumptions why he's a dick to Deku, but it's like, dude, you're a dick since you were a little kid to him.
Exactly,
Like, why?
exactly. And,
Why?
I've not seen the new episode, today's episode, but I really hope they go into that because, damn it, if it's a shame because he's kind of bland. And you can't have bland villains. You need good villains, good rivals.
Well, that's what I'm hoping along the series that it changes a little bit more.
I'm sure it will. I also really I also really my favorite design of the whole show is though, just design wise. I love All Might's skinny design. I don't know why, but
Thank you.
when
I
he is
dude, we
just
gotta do a Boku no Hero
decrepit, when he's
podcast.
just
We'll do a Boku no Hero podcast
we
because
will. But
I'm right on board with you
I
on that.
love his design when he's
I
all
love that
decrepit.
design.
I don't know why. It's just
It's
awesome.
awesome, right?
It
I
is
absolutely
awesome.
love it. I
It's
absolutely love it.
I don't know why though.
Because it's crazy, like his all might forms like this heroic, Superman type person,
uh,
and then he just goes and he's just this like alien looking guy, and I'm
he looks
like,
like
dude, I for some reason like the contrast, like
I
it
love
works
it.
for me. It
He looks
works so well for me.
he looks like he's like a member of a band and he's really addicted to the drugs. It's like
Yes, he looks like a crackhead.
he does, and I love it. And
Or heroin addict.
he's constantly coughing up blood. I just love it. It's just, I don't know why. I just really like it.
I thought it was great, and then his
Oh,
eyes are just so like
he's like almost a skull for a face. It's just great. He's so skinny and sucked up. It's
it's
great.
great. It's
But
a great
we
show.
gotta do that one too, man.
We'll
We
do a
gotta.
podcast. We'll do a podcast.
I gotta read the manga too. I need to work on that. But
I'm sticking with the anime for now. Maybe I'll read the manga
yeah.
down the road. I'm still trying to catch up to One Piece.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. At least I've not touched Super though. But yeah, we should touch on Super real quick too later on because there's news there about Trunks, Black Goku.
And I did definitely have my video out there for my thoughts on
go check
Black
it out,
Goku
man.
and future Trunks because my subscriber wanted to wanted me to discuss about it.
Wonderful.
Just couldn't wait. So,
yeah. But anyway, though,
going back to Fully Cooley.
Yeah.
It's if they would have never done, like, I could see it just being a standalone kind of anime of that first season, but going into these new seasons and stuff, I'm a little bit optimistic, but yeah, I'm very worried about what could happen. Because if this happens, if they really kind of like, if they don't succeed in these seasons and it just doesn't work, then that first season, it's like, does it tarnish the first season? Does it not? Like, it's gonna be up in the air.
I don't know, but I think as long as they keep their focus on characters, they keep their focus on style. They don't try to make too much of an arc. They just kind of they go the original route. I think it can work. One thing, this is really obscure, and I'm kind of a stickler on details, but one thing I would love for them to do is actually make the show in a 4:3 aspect ratio, so it matches the original. The square TV. If they were to do that, and they probably won't because it's unconventional, but just to add that consistency would be really neat. I think.
That's definitely a not.
Kind of a love to the genre. It won't happen. Hell, people don't like Dragon Ball Z Kai because it's in 4:3. But again, if it were me in charge, I would do that just so they all matched. It was consistent. But that's just me. I'm a stickler for detail like that. But
details.
Keep it focused on characters. Don't change the setting too much, and if you do it properly. Do it kind of slow and not all at once. And pay homage to the original, but at the same time, not too much though. Have it be its own unique beast. Maybe even, again, if you do an arc for 12 episodes, maybe have the first arc focus on kind of reconnecting and patching up with the old season, and then the new season really takes off into its own storyline. Who knows?
Speaking of characters, is Big Eyebrows gonna make an appearance in season 2?
I have no idea. No one knows at this point. To my knowledge, I have no idea.
Gut feeling, Colt. Do you think he might?
If he's not dead, yes. Again, time frame here. We don't know.
I don't think it's going to be too far in the future.
Maybe. I don't know. But I think just like an older Naruto would still be good though. So maybe like 10 years. That'd be right. I think 10 would work. Maybe even 8. But as for Eyebrows though, I don't know if he's going to appear or not. But I think he served his purpose. He served his purpose.
I'm thinking cameo.
Maybe a cameo. Maybe things. Maybe say something really bad happens to the Earth, and like, I don't know, medical mechanic comes back and they're winning, and then we see Eyebrows just walking around like, I told you this would happen. It's just like real quick little stuff like that. I don't know. Now I think we'll see his organization again. Maybe, but I don't know about him per se. Maybe I think maybe even Naruto will be recruited into that organization. Like I said, maybe not becoming Eyebrows, but that'd be a great way to have him involved in the plot. Have him, be a part of that organization. I think what was it? The Intergalactic Immigration Bureau.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. That's a great idea also, but because he has that connection, he might kind of forcibly be recruited by the government. Who knows? Kind of keep him quiet. Who knows? I don't know.
We're definitely. I think we're gonna get a little bit more answers about that cat.
Naota's cat.
Yeah, the one that Haruko was talking to.
Oh, yeah. What was with that? Was the cat a communicator? I never caught that. That to this day, that still confuses me. I have no idea.
There's a little bit more info on the manga, but
Really
yeah,
interesting. I gotta read that manga. I will. Mm. But that's interesting. Because and hell, that cat's in the last shot even with the guitar, so there's some significance there.
there is, there
Yeah,
is.
there's significance there. I don't know, but but yeah, I do actually like Eyebrow's character though because in a way he is, like I said, the opposite future for Naota because he in a way he kind of is Naota. Hell, even
And,
in the
and
South
he's
Park
telling
scene,
Naruto to go that path.
yes.
Yeah,
Uh, and it's kind of funny because he makes it seem like he has the answers, yet he himself is incredibly immature. Look at the South Park scene.
yeah,
He's like it's less it's just the dialogue alone. It is so childish. You're just like, huh, it didn't go right for him. You could tell it's like, okay, he tried, but it didn't work. And he's clearly he's trying to lead trying to I think he's trying to lead Naruto down the right path, but he's not doing it properly though, because even
no,
he doesn't have it figured out, you
yeah.
know? So I don't know, but fascinating character though. A little how do that's how I see him though. He is kind of the alternate future for Naota. I would like to know his connection with Haruko a little bit more, but not really. I don't need to, we don't really don't need to
I
know.
don't,
We
I
get
don't
the
think we
gist
need
of it.
to. Yeah,
But
I don't.
that makes me think though that Haruko will come back once Naota's maybe a bit older because obviously I assume that Eyebrows was Naota's age when he met Haruko. So in a way it has to repeat itself, We'll
And
see.
that's the thing. Like, we might repeat it as well with the new
Yes.
season.
I'm we'll see. We'll see.
I
Um
know. I mean, just it's all expectations. It's like going into a movie. You have expectations for it. You have to watch the movie to really see if it's going to be good or not. So just like the new season, you have to watch the new season to see if it's going to be good.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I guess it'll be kind of probably next year, I believe. I just hope I still have
Definitely
access
not this
to.
year. I don't. They're
Not
definitely not going
this
to start
year.
this year.
No,
Yeah.
this year I think all we got to look forward to is the new Samurai Jack, which I am looking forward to.
There's a
Uh,
lot of good things to look forward to this year. I mean, I'm looking
there
forward
are.
to Food Wars season 2 this
Mhm.
year. Can't wait. Can't wait for that.
I haven't seen that one actually yet, but it sounds
Mm.
good.
Food
What?
Wars is great. It's
Mm,
really great. Boku no Hero was another one that I wanted to look forward to, and so far it's panning out.
indeed. Maybe some
There's
more One Punch Man OVAs. Who knows?
I just saw Prison School OVA, and I got to do a review from a boy Drew. It's awesome.
Oh wow, I've heard again. I heard about that. Never saw it. Never caught it when it was
My
on.
favorite of
I,
last year.
I really need to watch that. And I'm going to say also, I'm looking forward to seeing where Super goes. Dare I say it? This kind of potential.
Especially with this, and I think we should definitely get we'll get up another podcast going. We'll touch upon the super aspect to it as
Sounds
well.
great. Sounds great because there's a lot to talk about. This is going to be really
Yeah.
interesting to see if they do it right.
We're a little bit right though. We were a
We
little bit right. We said Goku was going to lose.
we did. I wish. I wish they. I would.
Oh,
I wish
and I did say that Monica was going to do the stupid, funny thing, but it didn't. It had a little twist at the end.
it did. It did. I kind of would like to see a universe where Hit did win that fight and he didn't give up on purpose. But I'm kind of not in light of the new information. I'm kind of glad we didn't stick around in Universe 7. Oh, excuse me,
It was
new
a sweet
Universe
moment at the end
6.
too.
I'm kind of glad about that now. We'll see what happens.
There was a
Uh,
sweet moment too at the end
there
with
was.
Barris and Champa.
There was a good moment, I thought. And I
Oh,
think there's a connection there. I think it was a good development. And I also liked the filler episode where Beerus dressed up like Monaka.
I
Uh,
thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was
again,
entertaining. I'll give it that.
another example of Super's best moments being filler. It's crazy.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
Funny
But
thing, actually, you'll never get this though. When I first saw screenshots of 37, no, excuse me, not 37, 41, I believe, no, 42 with the filler. When I first saw screenshots of that, I thought, oh crap! I saw that because I saw Monaka was bigger and fighting Goku. I thought Goku would use the wish on the Super Dragon Balls to make Monaka a strong fighter, and he would battle him. Because that's a Goku thing. He would do that, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But no, but I don't know. Uh, I also like how we're getting a bit more information on the hierarchy of the universe because now we have the king of everything.
The
So I
king of
guess
everything.
I
So
guess
so weird. The
it
weird
is
little design.
a little weird, but I guess now we have more of a structure as to how it works between the king of everything, the gods, the Kais below them, stuff like people like Kami and all that, who are guardians of planets, all that. So it's cool to get information on the hierarchy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the future though. The return of the legend, Future Trunks.
It's
It's exciting, man. Because you were right though. There is a lot. There is more to revisit with that character, and there's more to see, and there's more to do with that. So I'm looking forward to it.
we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see.
I would,
We got that arc won't start, I believe, until next month.
yeah,
So we're gonna have some fillers going on right now.
indeed. Hopefully, we'll get some good stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder though, what do you think this Black Goku is? Is he an alternate universe version? Because he seems, I dare say, this may be the Broly character we wanted. You know?
Black Goku. So it. There's two things, man. There's two things that I took away from this. When I read your, thank you for sending that link to.
No, no
When I
trouble.
was reading
No
that.
trouble.
Um, what I took away from it is it's actually Goku, Black Goku from future. Maybe Trunks was able to revive a lot of the Z fighters and stuff. Like somehow Goku turned evil. It could go that route, but I don't believe it's
Could.
going that route.
No.
Or it can be the different universes type Goku.
Possibly.
The second thing I took out of it was it's not necessarily Goku. It's actually a Saiyan that is like Goku. Like remember what Turtle, I believe it was.
Turles, yes. I
Turtles,
believe.
yeah. It's some like Turtles where
That could work.
just as powerful as Goku, but he's just a Saiyan, and that's why they call him Black Goku. And kind of
I think. Well, actually, I think Black Goku is the improper name because from what we know about him so far, I would call him. I think he would be more Kakarot. He is the Kakarot to Goku.
yeah,
You know,
it could
he is
go.
that alternate path.
So I'm thinking
You know?
it's another person that's similar to Goku, who's just as powerful
Possibly.
as Goku, who's a Saiyan, uh, who is of course evil, or it
Mhm.
could be a different universe kind of Goku where he actually is evil and he's Kakarot.
Possibly. What I'm looking forward to though seeing is I can't wait to. How do I put it? Hopefully, like we said, we were discussing the Broly character and this like someone who can trump Vegeta and Goku, and basically, like you said, question Vegeta's pride, his Saiyan pride, basically be the
Exactly. And then
ultimate example.
we were talking about like how you need another Saiyan to come in here, but
We
actually
do,
be a
we
badass
do,
Saiyan and villain.
and I think we'll also maybe see a new Z fighters in this way because I think we'll probably see Hitch join the team, probably Kaba. Like this is where all these characters now are coming into play. I
Thank
think.
you, Cole. That's exactly what I was saying about the videos. Like you got to take Piccolo, unless you get Piccolo a power up. But you definitely take out Krillin. You definitely take out Yamcha. You definitely take out Tien. Even Gotenks is not as strong as what they are right now because the power level is so beyond any of these fighters that you have to establish a new Z fighter.
The only one
Like
I think the only one besides Goku and Vegeta who can be brought in from the old team is Gohan.
Gohan.
Gotta have Gohan. This is Gohan's
Yes.
time to shine.
That's what I said, man. That's what I said. It's now or never. It's now or never. If they don't do it now,
Exactly.
you're never going to get Gohan as that badass again. And I was hoping that future Trunks comes in here and goes, man, you're not the Gohan I thought you were gonna be.
Even more important, have him say you're not the Gohan I remember from you when you were a kid. What happened?
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
perfect.
exactly.
It's
And then
perfect.
Gohan needs to realize that his dad and Vegeta are not going to be here forever. Maybe they're not even going to be on the planet sometimes.
Exactly.
What are you going to do, Gohan? You're the only one that's as strong as they are to actually do something. Yeah.
Yes, step up to the plate. This is his time here, and like you said, it's now or never. So let's see what they do with that. I think it'd be kind of cool though to see if maybe have Trunks mentor Gohan in a way, because I assume we saw Trunks with blue hair in the art.
That would be a great
So will Trunks? Do you think Trunks will reach Super Saiyan God?
No.
I think Gohan will.
If anybody, Gohan could, but I'm sick and tired because I'm on Facebook. There's this guy who like puts out like a lot of these thumbnails and stuff. I think it's called Switch and Bait, where he has, oh my god, like Goku Super Saiyan White, this and that, or oh my god, like it's people, and then people put out like oh yeah, he's gonna go blue. Oh, Bardock, Super Saiyan Blue. Bardock's gonna meet Goku. Like,
Uh,
no, no,
uh,
okay,
it's
they're not gonna
clickbait.
just give this out like candy. The only people who are gonna do Super Saiyan Blue is Goku and Vegeta, and maybe Gohan. But Gohan is a super stretch, so don't be throwing that
Yes,
shit out there. Do I want
exactly.
Bardock to meet Goku? Yes, I do, but don't be putting that shit out there when you don't know the facts and you don't know if it's not if it's not even canon yet.
It's misleading for the purposes of making videos and making money off those videos, most likely. So it is the most despicable practice on YouTube I can ever imagine. Clickbaiting, don't do it, guys. You're not. You're damaging the fandom. You're misinforming people. You're giving them wrong information. That's never a good thing. So don't do it.
Hey, I'm not trying to start a war, but
Right.
listen, like, come on. Like, Double Four Anime has that shit going on too. I don't watch
Mm.
any of his videos, so I can't really say too much, but when I see his thumbnail and I see like his sayings and stuff, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then when I actually do click on the video, he's just kind of saying, it's basically him saying like, oh, I think this is going to happen. No, it's
Ah,
your thumbnail and that shit looks like it says it is happening. Like,
it
don't
is so
mislead that.
misleading.
Don't
Yes.
mislead that shit.
I don't like that. But real quick, also touching back on Super, because this is a Fooly Cooly podcast after all. But what I
Yeah.
was saying about Super is that I like the idea of the black-haired Goku. I assume he'll be black-haired because for two reasons. First of all, I, I back in the remember a couple of months ago when we was hearing about Super Saiyan White, and Toriyama said how he was going to be blue, was going to be white, but he thought that might contrast too much with the next villain. Now that makes sense. Black
Yeah.
hair Goku. Also, I love black hair. I love the idea because first of all, that black hair is the essence of a Saiyan, and it's also highly reminiscent of Super Saiyan 4. That's nice, right
I
there.
love Super Saiyan 4.
So
A
let's
lot
see
of
if they can
people
make that work.
A lot of people shit on that design, but I love it. I thought it's great. If
It,
especially
it
if you have newer animation with it, you make
oh,
it a little bit more cleaner, like
it
that
could work.
statue back there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good as
Question
fuck.
also about animation. What do you think of 39's animation, the Kaioken times 10? Was that a? I thought that was pretty good.
I thought the animation was fine. It was better than usual.
Hmm?
But my god, did I love Kyle Ken mixing with the
Ah,
Super Saiyan Blue.
indeed.
I loved it. Like that. That's what I saw the hint of white.
I agree. Yeah,
There
it
was a
was in
hint
there.
of white.
It was in
I
there.
thought it was great. You harken back to definitely the time where that was Goku's bread and butter,
Exactly.
Kaioken.
Back into the
And
Saiyan saga.
yeah,
Even from the very beginning. You
you
know.
put more technique in there. You put more. You just do a lot, and that's. It wasn't like shoehorned in. It
Yeah.
wasn't like it was natural. It was natural using the Kaioken in that situation.
It was, and I have to wonder also is that do you agree with me that the choreography in that fight was slightly more Z-like, just the way they
Yeah,
moved, the way they fought. It was kind of a slight return to Z, which is
yeah.
good.
It was a little bit better. It was a little
A
bit
little,
better.
a little
It
bit better.
wasn't full on better, but it was a little bit better.
It's promising. There is hope for the future of this series if they can
I
keep it up.
hope. I hope they hear Toriyama and they say like fuck me. Step
Exactly.
it up, dude.
And real quick also about also the last week's episode, the filler. I was really happy because they used their side characters. Puar and Chaozu did
Oh my god,
something.
I was laughing so
That's
hard with
amazing.
PR as
Yes.
Barris. I was laughing so hard. It
But
was that, and they could still do funny moments like
they
that.
do. But do you realize that this is the first time they've done something, anything for decades? You know,
Exactly.
not since the Saiyan arc have they been relevant, but they are now. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
they were
You know.
also, but people still want to slap the shit out of Yamcha.
Yeah. Yamcha, you had one job, Yamcha.
What an
One
idiot!
job.
What an
But
idiot!
but still, great to see like Chaozu using his telepathic abilities, which we never even saw. We only saw once in the Saiyan saga. So they're kind of remembering. Oh yeah, these characters are a thing, and they are beloved characters. Let's use them.
Would
Not
love
even.
to see a launch make an appearance sooner
Hey,
or later.
we can only hope. We can only hope. I like to see Android 17 come back. You know, not like Super 17 like in GT, but just like have him to work with 18 and like.
Yeah.
have him help out. He's still a pretty powerful dude. You know,
How
he can
how
take.
how awesome is that Krillin and 18 relationship? I mean, they're the most
That's
like kind of
awesome.
genuine family out of all those families.
Well, I would say yes, and second would be probably Vegeta's family. So Vegeta's mellowed out now. He's much more of a family man. I like
Which I
Vegeta.
absolutely love that he's more mellowed out and he's just not as Kakarot crazed as he used to be.
Exactly. He really has become, I think, a good father to Trunks. At least he's starting to. He's becoming responsible, and it all. I think it came. The moment that turned for Vegeta was definitely when he sacrificed himself to try to kill Boo, and
Mhm.
that's one of the best episodes of Z ever. I think. You
And if
know.
anything, like people are absolutely, I think Bulma and Vegeta shippers are just absolutely loving, that
Oh
they're
yeah.
really incorporating that relationship a lot.
They are.
Deeper.
It's really there. I love that. So it's good. This is a good time to be a Vegeta fan. But yeah, I agree. Krillin at 18, it is so genuine and it is really sweet. You know, it's
It
really
is.
sweet.
It is.
It's
It's
well
very
done.
sweet.
It
And it
melts my
worked in GT too.
I think it did. I'm not sure. It's been years since I've watched GT. I'm
Because
catching
remember
up
when
back at it
Krillin died?
now. Oh yeah. Oh, I do recall that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good actually. I thought that was
Yeah,
it was it was genuinely handled. I think.
I hope we do get a similar. If we do get transformations, if Goku does take, if Goku takes it to the ultimate level, I hope the final form is gorilla like. It needs to be gorilla like.
Something, yes, I agree. Some ape aspect to help establish the Saiyan.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
important.
He's a
That's that's
Saiyan.
that's
He is
very
a
important.
Saiyan foremost. Well, Goku is mine. He's an Earthling, but he's a Saiyan. That's
He
his.
is
That's who
hell.
he is.
The
Piccolo is a
original.
Namek.
Yes, indeed. I mean, hell, the original Saiyan ultimate form was a giant freaking gorilla. You know,
Exactly.
it was a gorilla, so that makes
So come on,
sense.
Toriyama. Come on. Come on.
I wonder if Black Goku will have his tail.
I
If
hope.
he
I hope.
does, imagine a Super Saiyan Ozaru, which we kind of saw in
Yeah.
GT,
Well,
but again, use the idea again, make it better.
Well, remember, Vegeta and Goku were tripping out that Kaba didn't have a tail, so maybe
Yeah,
that's a
well,
little subtle hint.
indeed, if Black Goku is Universe 6, that would make sense. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see how it
We'll see.
goes.
Indeed, we'll see. But yeah, it's just
But who could take on all these Saiyans is Haruka. Haruka.
Haruka and Saitama together.
Yeah, they could take out all these Saiyans.
They could take it out. They could take him out.
That's-
Absolutely,
um,
absolutely.
but the fully coolly, straying away, we strayed away a little bit, but
We
fully
did.
coolly is
Can't help it though.
yeah, can't
We
help
love
it with the
Dragon
Dragon
Ball.
Ball Z. It's
We love
no
Dragon
fully
Ball.
coolly is so much different than Dragon Ball Z. It's an
It
independent
is.
type anime that people should check out. They need to check.
Absolutely.
Especially if they're want to know what it's all about in the season 2 and season 3, and it's going to be airing in Toonami. So
Indeed, I'm not sure if they are going to or not, but I heard rumors that Toonami is going to bring back and start airing the original again, so you can kind of catch up if you haven't seen it yet and get ready for season 2.
most
So
definitely, they
so
will.
it's a good chance here. If you haven't yet read the manga, I need to read the manga. From what I've heard, it seems pretty damn good. So read that manga. Read about the production of the show too, because you get a lot out of that. Trust me, you do.
So you can get this at any bookstore. Believe I got this at Barnes and Noble. You can actually get it online. It's awesome. I went to the Modesto one. They had this full manga, fully coolly. They had a lot of these ones that I never thought they would have. They had Emma Victoria, what I actually really love. They had all the volumes. They had All You Need Is Kill, which is the actual manga I keep telling people to read. It's an actual. That's the one. That's the one source material. That's the one manga that actually turned out to be a fantastic live action movie, which was all Edge of Tomorrow. So I have proof. So I have proof for you guys. I let my buddy borrow it, so I can't show you. I have proof that hey, that's hey, hand in hand right there. That anime to live action Hollywood movies could actually work. And then they also had I wanted to pick up some gangsta volumes, some gangsta manga, because gangsta is actually a really good one. Colt, you should check that one out. Manga version.
I have heard of it. I've heard good things. I must look into that.
I recommend the manga. It has that bebop feel to it.
I'm looking forward to that because actually I'm brushing up now on my Samurai Champloo. Now that it's on Toonami, I've been rewatching it for the first time in like about 4 years, and better the second time around. Love it.
That's an anime I don't think needs another season.
No, it doesn't. And I'm really appreciating the music too, because damn it is good music. It
RP
just
to the Jubies.
yeah, yeah. It has this wonderful droning quality to it that it can just go on forever. It's beautiful.
Najubi is one of the greatest. He was just one of just the greatest of all time. It's tragic that we lost him in a car crash way too soon because he
Rest
had
in peace.
beautiful instrumentals, and I listen to his music like almost every day. I definitely
Perfect.
I love it. I love his World's Rhapsody, Hickory are one of my favorite ones, and Feathers one of my favorite ones, and Under the Hood is one of my favorite ones. I love Najubi's. We could talk Najubi's all day if we did a podcast too.
We should maybe. Who knows?
He's amazing. He's an amazing. He's awesome.
I've only seen a bit of his work, but I'm already just falling back in love with it again, and it's beautiful. So
we're gonna be ending this podcast, but I have a question for Herostone Media here.
Yes.
Out of all time animes, where does Fooly Cooly rank?
For me, it is. It may be my number one. I'm not gonna lie. It may be my number one.
Past Samurai Champloo. Past Dragon Ball Z.
Past Bebop, for God's sakes.
Past One Punch Man.
Oh God, man, you're putting me on the spot. Oh, okay. It's definitely in the top 5. I love it equally as much as I do Bebop.
Yeah, past Bebop. Damn.
I'm sorry. I've been rewatching the show recently. I'm trying to review it, so I've been thinking a lot about it. And I'm really starting to appreciate the little nuances and details. So I'm just like, but okay. My number one is still Bebop. I'm sorry. I know it's kind of a cliche answer, but I still love it. But Fooly Cooly is damn near 2 or 3. I'm telling you, it's right up there. It may even be like 1.5. I don't know because it's so hard to pick. And Dragon Ball is definitely up there too, man. It's just, that's the thing. It's so hard to pick. There's so many good aspects of it. But I think here's the thing. As an overall whole product, Fooly Cooly is damn near flawless. You know, as we know it now, it is damn near flawless. It's hard to find anything wrong with it. It is so well done, and that deserves to be admired and commended. I think that is so rare to find a freak of a product like this that shouldn't work on paper, but it does on the screen. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Where does it fit in with you, man? Because you've seen more than I have of anime, so I'm curious. Top 5.
Fooly Cooly is it's another beast, man. It's another beast of its own. 6 episodes. It's when I think Fooly Cooly, man, it's bizarre, crazy. It works though. Characters are pretty awesome. Music's great. Like you're like you said, it's a very overall well-rounded anime. It's like one of the best animes. Well, I don't even think I put it in my top 10.
Really? Well,
I put it at number 15.
Wow, that's saying a lot. Damn.
I've seen a lot of anime at my time.
I know, man.
Since I was a little lad, since my uncle introduced me to Akira and Fooly Cooly. And
I wish I had an uncle like that. That would have been perfect. I started watching anime only about 4 years ago. That's when I really got into it.
Well, welcome to it, man. Welcome back.
Back to the home I never knew.
But the reason I put it at 15 is because as much as I love it, it is only 6 episodes.
That's a good point.
Which is great. It's fine because I love the lesser episodes, the better when it comes to anime like that. But it's really when it has to deal when you rank your anime and when you rank anything in life, it really goes to your actual taste, your actual preference. I like coherent, emotional type stories, and I'm not saying that Fooly Cooly doesn't have that in some aspects. I'm just saying it's definitely more hectic and crazy.
It is much more emotional than it is cohesive. It's almost completely emotion. It runs on emotion, much like life.
And different emotion, definitely different, more of different emotions in Fooly Cooly, and you don't realize it until you're like kind of sitting and you kind of think about it, like just went on a roller coaster.
It's definitely a thinking man's anime as much as it is one for everybody. You know?
Yeah. It's a fantastic anime. But I have seen some anime in my life where maybe I just enjoyed a lot more. I think I
Mhm.
even put Desert Punk past it
Really?
because as much as Desert Punk is a little bit more simpler
Mhm.
and it's more comedy, I fucking love Desert Punk. Like it makes me laugh. I could watch it over and over again. It's like 24 episodes. I still could rewatch that 1,000 times, just like Fully Cooley. But it just has a little bit more fun in the air than I would have fun with. I mean, Fully Cooley's. It's hard. It's very hard. But
Yeah.
there's just been anime out there that's just blown my mind. That's really got me a sense of like really got me just going, whoa, that's one of the greatest animes I've ever seen. I mean, even I put Gurren Lagann past it.
Hmm.
I'd put Full Metal Alchemist, the first season, past it.
Reasonable.
I put I think this is my favorite. Bakuno definitely is, I think, is my number one. It's a mafia type alchemist slash
Oh.
anime.
Ah.
Um, Naruto past it, but
Really?
then again, not even. I don't even think the anime. I think the manga. I'm
That's
thinking
fair.
manga
Maybe
Naruto.
maybe like you would put like an edited version of the anime with all the filler taken out,
If you
maybe.
get the fillers taken out, but then there's some animation. If you get the fillers taken out, maybe, yeah, maybe. Maybe Naruto's not even up there, but definitely is up there. Is Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball Z so much.
It
It's
is
awesome. It's the
such a
best.
lovable product.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again,
And
I came to it late, but even I love it now, so it's
yeah.
great.
Now, and Tenchi Muyo, I put it past it because I love Tenchi
Wow.
Muyo as much. It's
It's fun.
honestly, when it comes to like, it's like I said, it's all about taste. It's all about preference. It's all about like what you enjoy the most. And with
Yeah.
anime, what I enjoyed the most were these products a little bit more than Fully Cooley because they had Code Geass. I'd put Code Geass past it as well.
Oh.
It's a crazy anime that has 2 seasons, and it just works throughout. Samurai Champloo, that's an interesting one. That's an
Mm.
interesting one. I would have to rewatch that to really
Also, it's
think
also
about
it's
that.
kind of his own unique beast in a way. Kind of his own
Yeah,
special thing. Wonderful style.
Ghost in the Shell, I
Ah.
put it past it.
I
Akira, of
get
course,
that.
put past it.
I get that. Yeah, dude, I get that too a lot. So don't sweat that. Yeah.
You see, what the animes I'm talking about, they just range from different kind of genres and different kind of like what you're kind of feeling at that aspect, or different kind of things that they're trying to do. With
That's true.
Fully Cooley, it's doing something different as well. So all these, it's not like saying like I put it on 15, like oh my god, yeah, I put it at 15. Like no, I put it at 15 because that's a great number, I believe, right there, because there's so many animes right there too that are just right there as good.
And
Would I put it a little bit more up? Yeah, I would if I had to really kind of think about like, I'd put it at 13. But it's just not my top 10 because I've seen anime that's maybe a little bit, let's say the animation's more beautiful, the music
uh,
touches upon a little bit better. The characters are a little bit more deeper than I would have thought. It surprises me, like Fully Cooley surprised me, but it surprised me even more. Like Girl on Logon surprised the shit out of me.
oh,
Well,
absolutely.
I thought when coming into this, I thought it was gonna be a comedy. I thought like, what is it's wacky. I thought it was gonna be. That's what I thought. I thought it was gonna be like a Fully Cooley.
Yeah.
And when I went into it, I was completely blown away and how great it was. And that's
I I
so
get it, man.
I put Fully Cooley at 13, honestly.
13. That's a good spot for it, honestly. And I probably would put it lower on my list too, but I just have seen so little anime compared to you. I don't have a whole lot to go off of really, you know.
Gotta
I think
gotta
it's
go
still
on
in
an
my top
anime
10.
binge, man.
I need to. I just got a new job, so I'm still working, trying to get the training into that.
Oh, it's
When
hard.
I have a bit more time, though, yeah, I'm definitely hitting some of the classics here.
Dude, I hear you,
I've
man. I'm
gotta.
I'm almost done with Tokyo Ghoul season one. I only have like 2 episodes left, but I just haven't sat down and watched the last two yet.
Wow, sweet. I've heard good things about that one too. I haven't touched that one yet, but I need to. I
It's
think I
pretty
need
good.
to. I'm
It's
sure
pretty
it is. Yeah. Also, may I ask real quick? Is there any story with that poster behind you, that the Bardock one? Because I like that poster. I want that. Like, where'd you get
Oh
that?
my good buddy, Super Nerd 81, aka James. We do, of course, he is one of the other members of this podcast.
Hmm?
He actually gave me a couple of these wall scrolls right here,
Oh,
and in exchange, I
sweet.
gave him some Harley Quinn because he's a big comic book fan and stuff. So we exchanged posters. So Super
Oh,
Nerd, man, shout out
sweet.
to you, man. I was like,
Nice.
dude, I asked him, like, are you sure you want to give me this? He's like, oh yeah, man, here, take it. I'm like,
Gotta
my
find
wife
that.
don't, so
Let me that
I was like,
freezer
yeah,
saga,
man,
man.
I'll
I
take
gotta
it.
get that.
It's
Okay.
awesome, man. It's
It
awesome.
is.
The other great one is the I don't know if you could see it, the Ghost in the Shell and Faye Valentine one.
Oh, wow. Nice, Faye. Nice. Wow. And is that a
Yeah.
Batman one down there too?
Oh, I got a Batman over here too. Yeah,
There it is. Oh, sweet. Oh, oh man, that's nice. You got some good stuff, man. I don't have any posters. I need to work on that. I gotta get some
gotta
of
get
that
some
stuff.
posters, man. Gotta get some
I
posters,
gotta.
and I work at the movie theater, so I get free posters as well. So I got the
Oh,
Terminator one
sweet.
going over here.
Actually,
Yeah.
speaking of movies too, I actually saw Deadpool last week.
And
It was freaking awesome.
hell
You,
yeah,
you,
hell
you
yeah, it
know what
was.
surprised me though is that real quick, and I don't want to take on too long here, but I was amazed at how tightly it was written. There was almost no filler in that at all. Every scene serves a purpose, adds to the plot, adds to the character. You think it would be chaotic and wild, but it is really neat and tightly done. I love
Hell yeah,
that.
I love Deadpool. I saw it 5 times at the movie theater.
Damn, I've only seen it once, and oh, sweet. But yeah, I kind of wanted more, actually, more
Yes,
craziness. Maybe next time, sequel, make
it
it
was
crazier.
as much as they were making poking fun of like the superhero genre, they were going that same route with the superhero genre.
They had
The
to give it
storyline.
origin. It was an origin story, and that I think that broke some of its cohesiveness. But next time, now that we know the story, they can go all out.
Oh,
They
they're
can
gonna go
make it as
crazy,
crazy as they want, and I
and
can't
I
wait for
cannot
that.
wait. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds was perfect in that role.
I don't know if you know Honest Trailer, Screen Junkies. Have you listened to them?
I know them well. I've kind of stopped watching them recently, but I knew they work. I hear they actually got Ryan Reynolds to guest star, didn't they?
Yeah, they did an Honest Trailer of Deadpool, and Ryan Reynolds actually guest starred in it. It's
Damn.
hilarious.
And see, that goes to show because that goes to show what hard work and dedication will do for a YouTube channel. Because 5 years ago they were just starting out. They were just they had almost nothing. But now look at them. They're one of the biggest ones. They're one of the best. So hard
They
work,
they're
determination.
definitely the big. I didn't realize how big they were. They have like a think of like 5 million subscribers
Exactly.
on their
So,
channel. I mean,
so it
it's
goes,
insane.
it goes to show that if you stay at it, and you do it right, YouTube can work out for you. So they are an inspiration to me as much as I'm not a terribly huge fan of their style, you know. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I met Andy Signor at Comic Con last year. He seemed like a cool
Really?
guy. Gave me a
I
couple
I
of
I,
stuff.
I gotta go to Comic-Con. Jeez, I gotta go.
He's a cool guy.
I'm sure he
Is,
is.
is Green Junkies my favorite? No,
No.
but they're cool. They're cool fellows.
What is your favorite YouTube channel? Real quick. I'm sorry. I don't want to drag it
Uh,
out too far, but
I'm not gonna plug. I'm gonna say this real quick though. I want to be on movie fights. That's what I want to do. I want to be on movie fights
they
so
should
bad.
invite you to movie fights, man. You need to be there. This is where
I
you
need to be there.
belong.
Get me on movie fights. I'm taking that belt away from Dan.
If anyone could, man, it's you.
Taking it. Take it. They're good. Kevin Smith was on the last one. I totally
Really?
would have liked to fight Kevin Smith. He's
Oh
a
man.
me and him cuss a lot, so we got
Perfect.
it. We got it. Um,
Perfect.
my favorite YouTube channel because I tell everybody this. After I used to watch so many YouTube channels, anime, movies. Jeremy Johns, For Never
Oh,
World, whatever. But ever since I've done this, like I kind of felt like I don't watch them really anymore.
that's true.
After
When you do YouTube, you really don't have time to watch YouTube. That's the thing. It just
yeah,
takes up a lot of time.
and then you don't want to be spoiled by anything, so because you want your thoughts to be fresh and
Exactly.
and
And you don't want to be influenced too much by anyone else. You want your stuff to be you, not, paraphrasing somebody else, even subconsciously. So
yeah. So I don't watch Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman anymore.
who do you watch though? Who's your go-to guy?
But I will always, forever, will keep watching Mr. Sunday Movies.
That's good. That's good
I
stuff.
listen to his podcast every Sunday. I'm in Pacific time, so he usually comes on like at 12. He's from Australia. His boy Mason's with him on the podcast. Mr. Sunday Movies, Weekly Planet. I'm gonna plug this in for him because he's amazing. So the Weekly Planet, go to that. He does a podcast every Sunday, or what time, like Sunday or Monday. These two are crack up. They're hilarious.
I've heard a bit of their work, and
they're
I
almost
love
as
it.
good as me and Colt. They're almost as good as me and Colt.
Oh God, you flatter us too much, man. But yeah, I've heard a bit of their work. Really good stuff. I need to check out more of their stuff. But great podcast. So
They're awesome, man. They're
that's
really
great.
really awesome. Hey, man,
Very
we're
cool.
I've been hearing though, like they say that we know our shit about Dragon Ball Super, and we almost did. We almost called it.
We almost
We were this close if there wasn't for that twist.
yeah, that's true. But I think the future is bright. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have planned for us, man.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. I'm cautious, but there is hope. So let's see if they use that hope wisely. I don't know, man, but
Okay.
either way,
So
though,
we want to thank you guys. You know, we talked fully coolly. We're definitely going to get more podcasts going on. Check out the
absolutely.
manga if you want to check out the manga first. Go to Borders or Barnes and Noble. It's you can just get them online. Honestly, the complete volume is there. The anime is 6 episodes long. You can get the Blu-ray, whatever, in your
Blu-ray
local
looks gorgeous,
stores.
I might add. It looks great. Still
Uh,
holds up.
the next season's probably going to be next year on Toonami. Um, and just check out Fully Cooley, man. If you haven't checked it out, it's one of the greatest animes of all time. It's just out there. It's crazy. It's bizarre, but it works for some reason. I want to thank Herostone Media. If you want to plug anything, Herostone, where can we find you on Twitter? Do you got another upcoming video that you're doing that you want to shout out to?
It's you can find me anywhere on Herostone Media. I think I'm going through a bit of a rebranding on my channel so far, but for right now, it is still the same. I again, because of my job, I have not had a whole lot of time to make videos, but there's one I'm really looking forward to, and it is a lot of my subscribers. You recall you ever hear of Bionicle?
Yeah.
One of my best videos on my channel, my most popular, I think by 80,000 views, is a
Whew.
Bionicle video. So I need to quench that thirst from my fan base. So my next video will be Bionicle related. I'm working on the lighting rig now. So guys, be patient. There is Bionicle stuff coming, and I hope you all enjoy it. And Dan, I just want to thank you for letting me come on. I had a great time talking Fully Cooley. I'm working on a review for the show currently.
That's
We'll
awesome.
see how that goes. It's taken a while. But there's a lot to
That's fine.
say. So
Hey, as long as you put love and effort into it, it'll turn out like
always,
a Fully Cooley, man.
always. But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me on the show, man. I had a great time, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening to it. And when you're ready, Dan, can I have the last word, possibly, when you're ready?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And a little thing going with subscribers at 80,000. That's 80,000. Damn, that's good. That's good.
80,000 views, not subscribers. I wish it was subscribers.
Yeah, 80,000.
80,000 views.
Yeah, I think my most is like 50,000 for The Walking Dead. I need to make more Walking Dead videos. I'm gonna do a prediction video pretty soon for you guys. You can find me at the Animan Reviews on my other channel. I do reviews, anime, TV, and film. You can find us in Just Saying Podcasts in Twitter, at Just Saying. No, at Saying Podcast, my bad. And you can find a lot more podcasts down below. We cover comics, movies. We even have a James Bond podcast if you guys want to check that out. And then just, we're going to have another podcast tomorrow. We're going to be talking about part 2 of Civil War, where I'm going to be joining for the other co-founders. We're going to have Double No More Jeff, and we're going to have Super Nerd 81 as we talk part 2 of Civil War. And
that sounds good.
Spoilers. And man, we are nerds for it. So join us for that. And
nerds for life.
Hell yeah. And I want to thank Herostone Media, where I'm sure we're going to talk more Dragon Ball Z in the future down the line. And we'll get another we got a lot to talk about. Underrated anime, One Punch Man.
Oh yes. Avatar.
Because we got to get some anime on this channel. I'm just saying.
Do it.
So thank you, Herostone. What do you guys say, man? I want to thank you for joining us, though.
I want to thank you too, Dan. And I just wanted to remind everyone in the audience to think smooth.
Okay. Think smooth?
If you know Fully Cooley, you know what that means.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Think smooth.
Do it again. Do it again. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Think smooth.